Okay, now what we're going to do is take 1 tablespoon of olive oil and place that in the pan. And put it on 300 to start. That's about a tablespoon. Okay? Now, I have some chunks of white chicken breast, white meat, and about 7 to 8 ounces. And I've cut it in chunks. And now we're just going to add half a teaspoon of soy, just a tiny bit. We don't want it, soy is very salty, so you don't want to add too much. But you do want to use that instead of salt. And then a touch of white pepper. Some garlic powder. Okay, fairly generous amount. We're going to use a lot of onions. We want to balance it with the garlic. And then if you'd like, you can add some black pepper, which I'm going to do, okay? Just a little. You don't want a real peppery flavor to this chicken. You know, so you're going to mix it up, okay? And we're going to put just a touch of olive oil in with that. Like maybe up to a teaspoon. I have less in here. There's just a little drizzle of olive oil, but you want to put that in with the chicken, okay? So that's all set and ready to go. Now we're going to put in our onions. I have 3/4 of a cup of onions. You start with that. You can put a cup if you prefer. 3/4 is the minimum, okay? And now, while these are sizzling, and I think we're going to need a little bit more olive oil. I don't think I put quite a tablespoon, so let's give them a little bit more. See this? Okay. Now, right after you put in your onions, we're going to take a 1/2 cup of pineapple chunks in its own juice, and we're going to add a heaping teaspoon or 2 teaspoons of light brown sugar, okay? You don't want to use brown sugar, but light brown sugar is perfect. And you just want to mix it up. And what this is going to do is just create a little bit of a, it's going to kind of toast the outside of the pineapple. You'll see. Okay, so we have our onions going, and now we're going to put in the pineapple. And it goes. So, not that you need any more brown sugar, but don't put more than 2 teaspoons. It's going to be too sweet. Now I'm doing the base of this. I'm using the peppers as the only vegetable, but you can use frozen vegetables. At this time you put them in. These peppers are frozen, so I'm going to put those in. About maybe a cup. Okay. Just keep it at the minimum 300. I think we'll put the rest of those peppers in. The star here is the pineapple and the onion. You need that onion to accent the pineapple. Wait. Your chicken is in waiting. Let's see. And we want them to have a little bit of a browning on, on the edges, just slightly. And you can put your heat up to 350 if you like, or 325, 350. I just put the heat up a little. Just keep them moving. Let them cook. And add a little more brown sugar, light brown sugar, to the pineapples, okay? And it's in its own juice, and I have saved some of the juice. We're going to use that later. Right now, we just want the pineapples to be ready. Now, if you have fresh pineapples, do the same thing. Fresh pineapple is great, but this is any time of year you can make this. Very simple. Okay, so I have it on 350. Getting those pineapples cooked. I want to get a little bit of browning on this, but I don't want to waste a lot of time for the video, so we'll do it as as easy as possible for you. But if you keep it going, you'll get a little browning on the outside of the pineapple, and really, I like it that way, especially if it's fresh pineapple. Okay, so there's that. Now we're going to put the pineapples aside. And we're going to add in our pieces of chicken. I'm going to cook these up. And they're in chunks, so they should cook fairly quickly. That's probably when we'll get a little browning on the pineapple. It's a very easy meal. Very easy. It really tastes good. And what you can do, I don't know if I mentioned this, but I was thinking about it, so I don't know if I said it on the video, but you know those bags of frozen Chinese vegetables, Asian vegetables, whatever they call the mix? That's good to add in too. If you maybe put a third of a bag in with the peppers and the onions, and you'll get a nice, if you want more vegetables, you have that included, or any vegetable that you like. I'm just showing you the base. Yeah, see, now we're getting some, you see? Getting a little browning on the pineapple. It's still at 350. You can cover the pan, help the chicken cook a little quicker. Then we're going to add rice and, just, I'm not sure if there's anything else actually. The pineapple juice, and we'll be all set. Very simple. Anytime you're hungry, you want Chinese food, you're at home, always keep this would be like, this is half of a large can of pineapple chunks in their own juice. Don't use the one in the syrup. Even though we're using brown sugar, the one in the syrup is not the right type of syrup. And have a small, you can have a small can and keep them aside, some frozen vegetables, little pieces of chicken, and you're all set. And you can use the packets of rice, which is what I'm using today. They're pre-cooked packets. They cook in 2 minutes. So and brown rice, you want to switch to brown rice. And what I found, because I was never a fan of brown rice, it tasted too dry. The basmati brown rice is really good. It has, just the right texture that I like. So give that a try. Brown rice is much healthier than white rice. So try to switch to brown. And the other thing I do when I need brown rice, or especially brown rice, is I'll just pick up a pint at my local Chinese food place whenever I need rice, if I don't want to cook the rice and spend 20 minutes making it. And then just keep it in the refrigerator, because it has to be cold or at room temperature when you're going to cook rice in a dish. So I pick it up the day before or the week, few days before, and put it in my refrigerator, and then I can make Chinese food anytime I want. And they make great rice, so they do it all the time. So it's great. All right, so here you go. Here's your chicken cooking up. Now we just want it to brown up a little. Release this water. Meanwhile, oh yeah, see, we're getting that nice little browning of these pineapples, which makes them taste really good. That's why I put the brown sugar. But you don't have to put brown sugar. If you're watching your sugar, don't put it. It's still great. As long as you have a nice amount of onions, you're good. And some pineapples. See how nice? That's what you want. I used to make this dish once or twice a week. I was addicted to it. It's so tasty. I mean, it doesn't seem like it's any big deal, and it isn't. It's very easy to cook. But it's really tasty. And so I put broccoli. We use a lot of broccoli in here, but I don't have any today. I checked, and it just was in my refrigerator a day too long, so I couldn't do that for you. And the other thing you can do is get frozen peppers of all colors. Pepper strips are frozen. It's really an easy way if you want to do that. I cut my peppers and I freeze, use them fresh, and I freeze what's left. And you can do that too. Check out my pepper video. But you can buy them in strips. They come in very thin strips. Like these are fairly thin strips here, but they're very thin strips. So I like to make larger strips or big chunks and that kind of thing on my own. But it's great in a pinch. Keep them in your freezer. There's a lot of conveniences, and I'll try to share them with you so that you know, because this is a cooking channel for men, so guys, I want you to be able to cook these things. And also, you might not know of certain things, like most women do, but even women are lost in the supermarket. When I'm in the supermarket, I can't tell you how many young people come. I see them struggling with what type of spice should I use, or what type of whatever, and I'm always, or even the cut of meat, which I do want to do a video on that so you can kind of have an idea. These things are helpful. Hopefully you know, but a lot of people don't. And men tend not to really care for themselves health-wise. This is a healthy meal. Outside of the sugar that we use, everything else is healthy. And it's a tiny bit of sugar compared to what some of your foods have in them. And I want you to eat healthy. So here we go. All right, so now I'm back trying to share some information in all of my videos with you as I cook until I have my, an editing and everything worked out. This is how it's going to be. I may keep them up, I may redo them, but they're all test videos. But the food is really good. Okay, so now here's 1 packet of brown rice. I took it out of the packet. Okay. And now I'm going to put it in with you can mix the chicken with the pineapple and vegetables or onions and peppers, or you can leave it separate, however you'd like. I'm going to leave it separate just to show you, and then I'll put it in. Now you spread this out and put your rice in. This is 1 packet. Okay, now this needs a little bit of water, so you're going to put, here's the juice from the can. I'm just going to use a little bit. Okay, and I'm going to put a little on the chicken as well. You want that pineapple flavor to seep in. Okay. Let it cook in a little bit and then we'll cover it for a minute. That pineapple flavor. And then add a touch of soy to the rice. So that's about, I don't know, half a teaspoon, about 3/4 of a teaspoon. And you have to get to know your pan. Like when I used to make this a lot, I had a different pan. I switch out pans about every year or so, and you'll find that they do need to be switched after about a year. 2 you can probably get, but you don't want, the elements, the heating elements to affect the pan. So once you see that happening, you remove it and replace it. So that's why I tend to be, this is fairly new, and I tend to keep it around 300 because with these cooking skillets, they all heat up in different ways. They have to kind of get used to them. And so when I'm saying 300, like 350 on my other pan would have been burning everything. But I have this on 350, and this is fine. Okay. So see, you get a little char on these, a little browning on the chicken. You have your pineapple mixed in with your rice is cooked. And what I do, if you want it a little sweet, I use like sweet and sour. I put about maybe a tablespoon on the chicken if you want it really sweet. But it's not meant to be that way. I had given a friend this recipe and she did it just this way, and she called me and she left me a text that thank you, this is so delicious, and she now makes it regularly. This is so easy. See, this is maybe a little more than a teaspoon. Just a little. I don't have that much left in here, but about a teaspoon, 2 teaspoons. Okay? It just gives the chicken a little more sweetness. And this is done. I'm going to put the cover on for a moment. Then you get your plate and you're all set. Let it just sit.